2 All-Star games. Chicago sports writer Arch Ward had the idea of a midseason classic, and in 1933 it became a reality in Chicago. Among the great names who were there for that very first All-Star Classic, Hall of Fame catcher Rick Farrell.
I remember more little things about that one game than I do the rest of the 7 I played in, because it was the first. And they tell me it was 18 Hall of Famers that played in that one game. And I don't doubt it at all, because every place you looked, you saw a great ball player.
The thing that I remember most about the 1933 All-Star game was getting to drive in the first run in the history of the thing, and because I'm the cause of the designated hitter, and I had one weakness as a batter, and that was a pitch ball. But I got down on first base, and it's new territory for me too, and I'm looking around the stands, and I think about 800 people fainted when I got down there.
It was a thrill indeed to be selected. In the game at that time, we thought it'd be the only one and only one. They brought back the great John McGraw. Of course, we had Connie Mack. But it was something to be playing one day against fellas with a little quick temper like Ben Chapman, great hitter like Earl Averill, and to see the progress made by Walter Berger. Walter Berger and I were in high school together in San Francisco, and Dick Bartell and I were rookies with the Pittsburgh Pirates together. And that particular day in '33, it was just heartwarming to see these fellows selected as All-Stars.
We have a sellout, a big crowd, a fine day, and I hope the best team wins. Thank you.
The words of John McGraw, who came out of retirement to manage against Connie Mack's American League stars, men like Jimmy Fox, heavy-hitting Al Simmons, catcher Mickey Cochran, and pitcher Lefty Grove. It was a grand occasion, and the idea was completely new. Nothing but stars on the ball field. And when the game began, guess who stole the show with a 2-run homer that provided the winning margin? In the book of baseball legend, everything was as it was supposed to be. Babe Ruth had made the American League victorious in the very first gathering of the stars.
He was a legend, and he wasn't over the hill at that time, but he had a lot of background behind him, and everybody worshipped him and knew what a tremendous hitter he was, and he also a great outfielder. He had a good arm because he pitched, and he could do everything.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and one thing about the situation, not only his hitting and everything, the money he got. And everybody was making $3,000 and $4,000 in 10, 12, and everybody griped because he made that much money. I said, well, boys, you shouldn't gripe at him because that's going to bring your salaries up too, which it did, you know. But those All-Star games, they're quite a thing. I think they're real good for people to see them all together.
In 1934, in the second gathering, the show was stolen by Carl Hubbell of the Giants, famed for his great screwball, which he mastered with deadly accuracy. King Carl struck out 5 future Hall of Famers in a row: Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Al Simmons, and Joe Cronin. Pitchers were making the news. A sensational brother act, Dizzy and Paul Dean, pitched the Cardinals to the pennant that year. Dizzy, comical, boastful, and completely original, won 30. Rookie Paul won 19. The city of St. Louis had World Series fever, kept hot by a rough and ready team called the Gas House Gang. Here's how the 1934 World Series was remembered by Cardinal captain Leo DeRocher.
Ball players don't come scrappier than Pepper Martin and Ducky Medwick, more talented than Dizzy Dean, tougher than manager Frankie Fritz. In the 1934 World Series, we took on Detroit, gas house style, no holds barred. They used to say that we'd knock over our grandmothers to get it up to make sure Martin wasn't doubled at first. The first thing Dizzy said when he came to was, "Did they get Pepper?" What the Gas House gang lacked in talent, they made up in guts. In the last game, we were winning 9-0, but still Medvick started the fight, sliding in the third. When Medvick got back to the outfield, the Detroit fans were ready for him. They threw everything they could lay their hands on. I don't even know where they got half the stuff. Kennesaw Mountain Landis was commissioner of baseball, and the old judge called Frisch and Medvick over. He asked Ducky if he had kicked the Tiger third baseman. Medvick said, "Yeah, but that's the way I always slide." Judge Landis ordered Medvick out of the game, but not for biting. He was the only man ever thrown out of a World Series for his own protection.
In 1935, Cincinnati stepped into baseball's future by installing lights at Crosley Field. And for the first time, fans could see a ball game after a hard day's work. Ironically, it was the Reds who in 1938 met the Brooklyn Dodgers in the first night game at Ebbets Field. And Johnny Vandermeer, Cincinnati's 23-year-old left-hander, made baseball history by pitching his second consecutive no-hitter. That same year, Tiger slugger Hank Greenberg posed a real challenge to Babe Ruth's 60 homers. Greenberg belted 58 with 5 games to go, but could do no more.
While Hank Greenberg could do no more to try to catch up with Babe Ruth's all-time record of 60 home runs, that record would stand until 1961, when another Yankee, the great Roger Maris, would surpass it, not in 154 games, but still a new all-time single-season record. There's a whole lot more in the 1930s. We'll have that after this timeout.
Set of the Week is brought to you by Pepto-Bismol. For most common stomach discomforts, the one that coats is the only one you need. In Champaign, Illinois last Saturday, unranked Illinois was trailing the 4th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes by 14 points. The Illini closed the gap with 1-yard touchdowns by Ray Wilson and quarterback Jack Trudeau. With only 4 seconds remaining in the game, Chris White kicked this 38-yard field goal to win the game. Illinois 31, Ohio State 28, the Pepto-Bismol upset of the week.
Soon, this place will be jumping. People will stuff themselves with hot dogs and hot tacos, and that can give them heartburn.
Boy, if I were home, I'd take some Pepto.
Oh, you could still take Pepto. Portable Pepto.
When heartburn or upset stomach hits, fight back with Pepto-Bismol. The soothing effectiveness that's in Pepto-Bismol liquid is also in Pepto-Bismol tablets. When you need relief, don't forget portable Pepto tablets. Now, who says you can't take it with you?
Now, the home gym that treats your body to a 9-station workout. Trim Track. Durable, no-nonsense construction. Yet Trim Track can be yours on this special TV offer for just $39.95. It's a rowing machine. Perfect exercise for flattening the tummy. And you'll love quality touches like the padded seat and smooth as silk track action. The padded footlock is perfect for sit-ups. Gives you a trim, tight waistline. Hop on your knees for arm curls. Does miracles for arms and neck and chin. Trim Track. It's the fast track to the slender, younger figure you've been dreaming of. Just $39.95. Have your credit card ready and call now. Here's how to order.
To order your Trim Track, call toll-free 1-800-228-6333 or send $39.95 plus $5 for shipping and handling to Trim Track, Department 35, Canton, Ohio 44750, or call 1-800-228-6333.
In 1938, the Chicago Cubs won the pennant on Gabby Hartnett's famous home run hit as darkness fell on Wrigley Field. The Cubs' World Series hopes rested on the sore arm of Dizzy Dean, acquired from the Cardinals. The Cubs' opponents were the Yankees, and in the second game of the series, Old Diz struggled bravely to hold the New Yorkers back. But Frank Grossetti hit an 8th-inning homer, and New York went on to sweep the series in 4 games. The Yankees were stronger than ever in the 30s, but 2 of their greats were passing from the game. In 1935, Babe Ruth joined the Boston Braves, and it was with them that he hit his 714th and final home run. And in 1939, the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig, was stricken with a form of polio. Even with the knowledge of his fatal disease, the Yankee captain expressed his gratitude to an overflow Yankee Stadium crowd.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
He was Mr. Baseball, and he did so many things for baseball in all the years that he played, and I hope a lot of them, I know a lot of the players playing today appreciate what he did and kept baseball going, and it's just been a wonderful thing, and for me to say that I played with Babe, and also Gehrig, or all those fellas. Yes, sir.
Babe was one that always accepted the challenge and was the star of whatever performance. If you look back on the World Series records, when Ford pitched the scoreless innings, it was Babe Ruth's record when Ruth was a pitcher that he broke. Mantle stole more bases than anybody in the World Series. It was Ruth's record. And Mantle hit more home runs than Ruth in the World Series, and it was Ruth's record. So Ruth was really the most dynamic personality in the history of baseball.
Can he be compared to the home run hitters of today, or is there no comparison?
Compare him with any era. I would anyhow, and I've seen a lot of them. I thought Williams was probably a better hitter, but not a better home run hitter.
On that day, Lou Gehrig considered himself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. And most Yankees who came in and out of the Yankee clubhouse during the course of the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and yes, even the 1980s, considered themselves very lucky to know the man who ran the clubhouse, Pete Sheehy, a clubhouse that was later to be named the Pete Sheehy Clubhouse. In 1985, Pete Sheehy passed away after 59 years of riding herd over that Yankee clubhouse at Yankee Stadium. For Pete Sheehy, baseball was his life, from the first day to the last.
I was going to come up and sit in the bleachers and watch the ball game, see? And I stood outside the clubhouse watching the players walking in, see? Before they opened the gates. And this old fellow, Fred Logan, who had been here for years and years, and later on at years, he came out and he says to me, "Hey, son," he says, "you going to the game?" I says, "Yeah." He says, "You want to save your money? Want to come and give me a hand, save your money?" I said, "Save my 50 cents for the bleach." I was like, "I don't mind." He said, "Come on in." See? I come in, I went and helped him in the clubhouse, see? Then he says, "Can you be here?" It was the summertime, and the school was closed and all that. And he says, "Can you be here tomorrow?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Good." I've been here since.
And ever since, all the Yankee greats have come to know Pete Sheehy as a friend. After 59 years at the stadium, who did Pete think was the greatest Yankee of them all?
Joe D was perfect. He was absolutely perfect.
Why?
He did everything right. You never could find anything wrong with his playing or hitting or anything. He was just absolutely out of this world.
Joe D was perfect, but in the house that Ruth built, it was the Babe who was the dominant personality for Pete Sheehy.
Well, one day he came in here, he was bundled up and he was very, very hoarse. You could see he was very, very sick, and he sat right in this spot right here. And I saw him sign a few autographs for people that bothered him. And he went out on the field and he talked a little, but very, very, very hoarse. And a few days later, he was gone.
If you're an investor, here's an important telephone number from Charles Schwab and an important message.
I built this software business my way, and I make investment decisions my way. I won't pay a broker high commissions for advice I don't need. My broker is Charles Schwab, the #1 discount broker. With Schwab, I can save up to 76% on commissions compared to what full commission brokers charge. And I get services that count, like instant order execution. I call toll-free, place my order. It goes right into the computer. In seconds, it's at an exchange. Often my order is confirmed while I'm still on the phone. With Schwab, the savings are big, and the trades are computer fast. I like that.
I'm Charles Schwab. You'll like our low commissions, our convenience, and our quality service. That's a promise.
For a free booklet telling what Schwab Discount Brokerage can do for you, call 800-458-6100 toll-free. That's 800-458-6100. Charles Schwab, a Bank America company. Member SIPC.
Soon these streets will be teeming with people, all going after the American dream of success, just like you. Perhaps you should subscribe to the Wall Street Journal before they get here.
Call 800-372-3000 for this new Journal offer. 13 weeks for just $28 with a money-back guarantee. 13 weeks, $28. Phone 800-372-3000 now for the Wall Street Journal.
We've got the day's top sports lineup Saturday. First, a World Series doubleheader special. Meet unsung fall classic heroes. Then relive the Yanks and Dodgers famed 55 Subway Series. And there's top-ranked boxing on tap. The best young fighters in the business are ready to rock the Atlantic City Boardwalk. 2 top 20 teams provide the exclusive live CFA thrills. Offense is the key when Nebraska goes gunning for Oklahoma State and explosive Heisman threat Thurman Thomas. All Saturday, only on ESPN.
1939 saw the passing of one generation and the arrival of another. That year, a 21-year-old Iowa farm boy by the name of Bob Feller led the American League in wins and the majors in strikeouts.
I can remember as a baseball player, someone that touched all the bases. I trained hard, concentrated on my job. When my nation called me to fight for them, I left immediately and gave up an opportunity maybe to break and hold many, many major league records as a pitcher. Things we'll never know.
2 other youngsters had great seasons, Joe DiMaggio of the Yankees and Ted Williams of the Red Sox.
One of those things where I have said for many, many years that the greatest thing that ever happened to me is when I got to spring training with Frank Crissetti and Tony Lazzari. And to meet such great guys as Lou Gehrig and Bill Dickey and Charlie Ruffing, fellows that you read about. Of course, you were practically a newspaper boy reading about these fellows and being on the same team, putting on those team stripes, pinstripes. Why, that had to be the biggest thing that ever happened to me. And naturally, to go on to win the 9 championships out of the 10, the 10 pennants that we won. And that, to me, is the highlight of all my baseball, including my 56-game hitting streak.
Well, I saw him when I was a kid. I saw him in the 36 and the 37 World Series. As I was then 10 or 11 years old and saw him play. And then, of course, I played with him. He was just the ultimate in a baseball player. He could do everything better than anybody else. He was just great.
Well, he was a complete ball player. Playing center field, of course, you've got to realize that he's got everybody in front of him. He sees the whole ballpark when you're playing in center field. And let me tell you, that he took charge out there. Anybody that wasn't doing their job, he kind of let them know a little bit. He was a great ball player, the greatest I ever saw.
DiMaggio took the Yankees to the 39 World Series against Cincinnati. The Yankees had taken the first 3 games, and in the 10th inning of the 4th, with 2 men on, Joe DiMaggio singled to right. Charlie Keller stunned Reds catcher Ernie Lombardi, and with the ball only a few feet away, DiMaggio scored with a brilliant slide. The Yankees had swept another series, and the play at the plate became known as Lombardi Snooze.
That was a day where Joe DiMaggio made news with his legs and not his bat or his great arm as a New York Yankee. Ironically, very similar to Enos Slaughter's run in the 1946 World Series. They call that Lombardi's snooze, but most people who were close to the scene say, no, it wasn't Lombardi's fault. It was just a great play by the great Joe DiMaggio. A Joe DiMaggio who was a star in the 30s, but yes, would be a star in the 40s as well. In conjunction with Major League Baseball, we hope you've enjoyed a look at the 1930s in Major League Baseball. This is ESPN's Baseball's Greatest Hits. For Warner Fussell, I'm George Grant.